This series is about outstanding architecture from around America. From stunning residential to public spaces to commercial. This is an architectural deep dive to uncover the incredible stories behind each design. Welcome to America by Design. Our by design industry experts have selected innovative, inspiring and award-winning projects.
Good architecture thinks about the context. It can be anything from a school to a house, but it goes beyond itself in the way it designs. It thinks about the community that it's in and reflects something new or something old or something about the community to elevate the experience for everyone.
Let's get started with our first project. This is Seaport in Boston. And about 120 years ago, this was all warehouses serving the port. But then the developers moved in and created restaurants, bars, retail and hotels. And in amongst it all is Boqueria Seaport, the result of a 36-hour design road trip to Barcelona. Jan.
Hello.
This is your restaurant.
It is. Welcome.
Well, thank you. So, Boqueria, what's that mean?
Boqueria is the name of probably the oldest food market in the world, which happens to be in Barcelona on the Ramblas, and it's also almost certainly one of the most famous food markets in the world. This restaurant was inspired by my experience of tapas bars in Barcelona. I grew up in Paris, but I spent a lot of time in Barcelona when I was younger, and I loved tapas bars. Just felt like nobody had really brought them to life in the United States.
Yeah, they're kind of missing the mark here?
I felt like most tapas restaurants were just that. We're regular restaurants that happen to serve small plates. And what makes tapas bars really fun, really unique, isn't just the food that's being served, it's the entire environment, it's the experience.
Okay, so I think I now understand the reference of 36 hours, 40 restaurants in Barcelona.
Yes, before designing the restaurant, I took a couple of our designers to Barcelona. We didn't have much time, so it was really just 36 hours, but we wanted to get a lot in. So I don't know if it was exactly 40 restaurants, but it was definitely a lot. It was a lot of walking and a lot of eating.
It sounds like a TV show to me. So Michael, please tell me you were on this road trip.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, a lot to do, but it was really inspiring to see a traditional Spanish tapas environment because it's more than just the finishes and all the architectural materials. It's all about the atmosphere that really brings the traditional tapas place to life.
Sure. But now back to reality. How do you recreate all that?
We're actually in a historic district in the Seaport area of Boston. And so you get these natural heavy timber wooden frames built in the early 1900s.
Aren't they gorgeous? Look at that.
Solid wood.
You've got to celebrate that.
Yeah, we did a few things during the design to try to combat these high ceilings. We separated the restaurant into these 4 different areas with feature portals and archways that go through. So when you're seating, you can still see the heavy timber, but as you start walking through the restaurant, the archways kind of lower your perceived environment.
Yeah, still there's no hiding these beams.
Yeah, we figured we would celebrate them. So we had these custom armatures fabricated that carry all of our lighting for our center tables off of the beams.
Yeah, I mean that lighting is kind of acting like a false ceiling.
Yeah, it works nicely with the high top seating. Our friends over at Navalis Woodworking got us these custom chairs with the custom metal and the wood to kind of feature these high top areas.
Yeah, I suspect none of this you got from the local hardware store.
Yeah, no, the whole restaurant is custom, every single nook and corner. Our friends over at Surfacing Solution did all of the bar fascias, and so we actually have hidden coat hooks, power for the bars, and in the back over at the open kitchen, we have all of this integrated shelving and drawers for the staff, but they're all completely hidden through all of the woodwork.
Well, it's lunchtime, so they've pushed us out the back here. Now, I already know about this technique of creating a false ceiling, but tell me, what's going on here?
So this is the display wall, and there's 2 of them, 2 in the front and then 2 here in the back room. Really creates a vertical illumination that makes the room look brighter than it actually is. There's 3 fixtures in each shelf here, and there's one also in the back that's illuminating behind the objects, creating 3-dimensionality. And then the third one is this sconce that comes off of the wall and over the tables and creates this light here and also on the face, and then also creates this datum, continues the datum that you were talking about earlier.
Okay. You kind of left me behind there a bit, but I think what I'm understanding is it's both a science and an art.
It is, very much so.
And you know another thing? I'm not seeing any cables.
Yes, we worked very closely with the architecture team in order to make sure that all of the conduits and power cables were masked so that they were not part of the space and that the lighting design could stand on its own.
Yeah, because one thing I do know about architectural lighting is it's not about cables. It's not even about physical lights.
No.
Correct. Architectural lighting is really a delicate marriage of color, texture, and materiality. And especially in a hospitality environment, that color temperature, that warm candlelit feeling is really critical for the guests to look good and for the food to look good. That final glass of sangria looks great and you're just having a sexy night on the town.
I mean, I've got to say, we are all looking pretty fabulous here. Yeah. Some more than others.
You're too kind.
So Jan, this is not your only restaurant, is it? You have a number around America.
We do. We have 11 around the country.
Oh, wow. Are they all as complex as this to design?
Every restaurant design project, construction project is complex, at least in my experience, unless you're stamping out Burger Kings.
Restaurants, every single inch, there's a moment to think about, and a lot of different scales of a restaurant, table layouts and bar placements. And Jan would, during the whole design process, he'd come by our design lab and check everything out in virtual reality. And I mean, he'd have a dream about something and call me in the morning, and he'd be in our office in the afternoon testing a new layout.
Well, that's only because you were able to turn around design changes that fast.
Well, yeah, we have a great team.
See, no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah,
Yes.
Boqueria Seaport is the result of an absolute commitment to design collaboration. This space is modern, yet somehow timeless, inviting, intentional, yet seemingly effortless, all by design.
Confluence is a great project and a great location. It would have been so easy to go to as far as the property line as you possibly could, but with the way they changed the massing, added communal space, emphasized art, and paid attention to the legacy of the community, it is really striking. It's a communal space, and you really get the feel for that.
From where we live to how we work and everywhere life happens in between, architects help shape all of it. We're in vibrant downtown Fort Collins, where a bold new vision of mixed-use design is reimagining what the River District is all about. This place is so charming, but there's a deeper history here in Fort Collins.
Yeah, it turns out that the project site is actually the original center of the fort that gave the city its name.
Oh, it's so charming. Yeah, we're so happy to be right down the street from Old Town Square, which was the original inspiration for Main Street USA in Disneyland.
And this idea of confluence, it's more than just a name. It seems like it's a concept.
The idea of being able to bring downtown and the river together and create a place at that center is really important to us, and having a group of buildings gathered around a central courtyard that have different kinds of uses in it, like residence and commercial space, and of course our office space.
The project is located directly in the backyard of our original office. It's now a brewery.
Most of the time, architects design a project and then they hardly ever see it again, and we have this great opportunity now to actually live and work in this project every day.
As we enter this courtyard, I love how I feel protected and I get glimpses of all these really great apartments side by side.
We worked really hard to make sure that all the units had light and air from at least two sides. We wanted to break the project up into a series of buildings and make it so that they could gather around the central space. We can have over 100-degree temperature swing from cold to hot, and also harsh sun in the mornings and in the late afternoons. So we selected materials like weathering steel and board form concrete, stone, and this cedar to really respond to the harshness of the climate. And then of course with cedar siding, you can't just leave it raw, you need to put some protective coatings on it. And so we use Sherwin-Williams coatings to make sure that the material would be in great condition for the long run.
Materials aside, I mean, this is just a place you want to hang out at.
We do. In fact, my office is right here, and we come out here for office meetings and client meetings and gatherings frequently.
I can see now how bright and open it is.
We tried so hard to put light and air on as many sides of any space that we can. We really try to design with a timeless aesthetic and express materials where we can. So beams and the structural TNG that you see are actually holding the roof up. They should be celebrated and be seen. We don't try to respond to current trends as much as just identifying materials and finishes that are going to last for a while. Things like the really clean lines of those LK fixtures in the kitchen, we love that because that's going to age well. The bathrooms, the bedrooms, everything has real intention behind it and a truth.
Fort Collins seems to be really having its moment right now.
90% of Fort Collins is already developed, so we've got to start looking at redeveloping areas. And the River District tying Old Town to the river has been a target for redevelopment recently.
I don't really see any compromises in the design.
No, bringing the contractor, the designer, the developer all to the table early on really led to a successful project that pre-sold before it was even finished building.
Even in this one view, you can see how all the materials and all of these decisions are speaking to all the buildings around it.
Informal materials like the patina siding, the real cedar siding provided by Specialty Wood Products in Aurora, they really tie everything together to this unique building in this unique neighborhood in the River District of Fort Collins.
Great design doesn't just rise from the ground, it rises to meet its surroundings, its context, its community, its needs. And here in Fort Collins, this project is proof that when the design is thoughtful, you don't just get a new building, but you get a whole new way of life. What better way to end the segment than right back here at their original office and now an incredible brewery.
I am literally in the middle of the woods, and while you think this might be the perfect spot for a cabin, it's actually the site of a high school. Lead Innovation Studio is on a unique mission, and I am so excited to see how integrative design fits their story. We are really off the beaten path. Talk to me about this site.
Yeah, well, the site is actually a very conscious decision from the district. Lead Innovation Studio is actually a program that takes students and challenges them to think in a different way. To support that, the district selected this site, and they wanted to marry the idea of all of that ambition with a chance to connect with nature.
The building is on the top of the hill here where there used to be a farmstead, so we really didn't cut down that many trees, and we ended up preserving a lot of the nature here. We really wanted to use materials that were almost so neutral that the nature around us was really the star of the show.
I noticed it's a very modern building, but it undulates.
I think what you're seeing there is the building actually reacting to these extreme site constraints. So it gave us an opportunity to fulfill another design promise to the district, which was to ensure that this building does not look like a traditional high school.
Chris, this does not feel like your typical high school environment.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't feel like the high school that I graduated from. When you first walk in, this is meant to be a welcoming focal point, and it's meant to reflect really the openness that you'll see throughout the whole building. Line of sight is very important in this building. We want kids to learn how to manage their own tasks, and sometimes that requires them to step out of the traditional classroom environment. So all of the line of sight that you see around this building allows for a teacher maybe to manage a classroom, but also manage that student that's self-directing just outside.
That sounds pretty innovative.
Yeah, well, innovation is in our name. This building, one of the really cool things is there are very specific spaces that foster collaboration for both students and our teachers. We have our flex spaces, and that's where kids can gather and do their self-directed work. But we also have collaborative environments for teachers on both our 3rd and 1st floor.
Melissa, this space is enormous. Look at these ceilings.
It's 3 stories tall. It had to provide a lot of different functions for the school. So not only is it a cafeteria, but it also is a place for all school gathering.
It must get quite loud.
High schoolers are notoriously quiet, right?
Oh yes, my 3 teenagers at home. Always quiet.
Oh yeah, so we definitely needed to consider acoustics for the space, right? None of the walls are parallel. That really helps. And then also we looked at using materials like the white perforated metal panel over here, and then also the wood slats above. Each of those has perforated properties that help with the acoustics. Additionally, we worked with Virginia Tile. They were able to help us get this wood look tile that really helps to provide that warmth. The furniture also plays a huge part in that. We worked with Circadia, and they helped us to specify a lot of different types of furniture so that it really enhances that functionality of the space. I think in the end, this place is really the heart of the building.
This is spectacular. I feel like I'm in a treehouse right now.
Well, that was the big idea. The building undulations allow the students to step outside and literally almost reach and touch that scenery. The incorporation of materials from Moore Incorporation and Kansas City Brick, all those natural patterns also reinforce the way this building is meant to feel a part of this site. Providing a respite like this balcony for students to step away from their work allows them to focus, allows them to recharge, and allows them to be their best when they go back into the building.
When we were in other parts of the building, it felt very wide open. However, in this space, it feels like someone turned down the volume.
Feels that way, and yet it's still connected to everything around it in the other classrooms. If I'm a teacher and I'm needing a great collaborative area, we can use this space and have students working around the table. And another really great thing is that we have the operable glass walls by Madurco that were installed by Burns Boys, and as necessary, we can actually open those and customize this space even further.
The LEED Innovation Studio is a monument to outside-the-box thinking. Through innovative and intentional design, the team at Hollis & Miller have created the perfect arena for sculpting young minds. And as architectural projects are concerned, it's truly ahead of its class.
Copper curves, rooftop gardens, and a bar called Rabbit Airs. Stella at Star Metals is not just a building, it's Atlanta showing off its fun side.
This is the West Midtown neighborhood of Atlanta, and this building is our third project in what we're calling the Star Metals District. The concept for this building was really to maximize the building envelope, and then we carefully carved away the building at special moments like this grand entry, the double height lobby, the Sky Lounge on the 17th floor, and the larger units at the top of the building to create large outdoor terraces. We worked with Osmet Metal Panel to create a very distinctive color for the building that would distinguish it on the skyline. A lot of projects that we do in our office, we tried to create a harmony between the natural environment with the built environment. So we worked with Horizon Roofscapes to create a system that we could integrate throughout the building.
Welcome to Stella at Star Metals. We really wanted residents to walk in and for this to feel like it's their home. You know, everything down to the hand-selected books on the bookshelves, the furnishings. These are vintage-inspired pieces that have a mid-century flair that we reinterpreted for the space, so everything is fully custom here.
Yeah, I mean, this reception desk, I'm pretty sure that's fully custom too, right?
We partnered with one of our favorite local artisans for this piece. It's hand-carved and it just has this really beautiful, rich green tone.
And then the stair It's a bit of a departure from the softness. It's the scrap metal type stair.
We're paying homage to the site's history as a scrapyard. So we've always had these elements where steel and these mixed metals has been at the forefront. Downstairs is the resident mail room. It's a space where residents can obviously get their mail, but offers some lounge space for them to just work and relax.
Okay, now this is a space.
The screening room here is probably one of my favorite spaces. We were inspired by the copper paneling on the exterior. We took that rust color and just enveloped it in this space to create a really cozy and luxurious space.
And that's pretty unique of an amenity for a residential building, right?
Exactly. You know, I think it's the only one I can think of in Atlanta specifically.
Is that because of the film industry here that's growing in Atlanta?
We have a lot of people moving in from LA and other cities that are in the film industry. The residents could share their films with their friends, host an event, just do a private screening, and you can really see that with the intimacy and the scale here.
I think this is a great space to sit back and maybe watch America by Design.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're in a 2-bedroom unit here, and look at this bathroom.
Yes, spa-like bathroom with freestanding tub, walk-in shower, double sinks.
And then in the bedroom here, we're on the corner. We have a great view of the exterior.
Corner windows with floor-to-ceiling window wall by glass system sink. Roof gardens right there outside your window.
I mean, with a view like that, who needs a TV, right?
Absolutely.
So this curving roof garden is just leading me right into this very open living space.
It's wrapping the whole unit.
And this balcony, it's pretty generous, right?
150 square feet, larger than other similar properties, following the same concept of indoor and outdoor connection.
This is a really special space. What made you decide to open it up to the public?
Well, it is so special and unique in Atlanta. The only place you can get a view like this is so unique that we wanted to make it available to everyone.
And this bar behind you, it is gorgeous.
Custom made in Norway. And it's designed to lift all of the activities up to the view of the customer, where they can see what's being prepared for them. And it's a very interactive experience. Rabbit Ears is really inspired by Peter Rabbit. He was playful, very engaging and lovable, and this is what we want Rabbit Ears experience to be. It really comes a lot from our own mission as a company. 3 words: to inspire, impress, and improve. We want to inspire people with the beauty of our projects. We want to impress them with the excellence of their experience, and we want to improve the lives of everyone we touch.
With skyline views and a rooftop that plays by its own rules, Stella at Star Metals proves that design can be bold, a little bit cheeky, and totally unforgettable.
Long Beach is a thriving city in Southern California with a rich history of arts and industry. As a resident myself, I've had the privilege of watching this city transform as one local architecture firm moves its headquarters from the tower of the Wells Fargo building down to the ground floor plane in the heart of the city.
The goal was really to try to find another place that could help with innovation, building a sense of community, and a sense of just collaboration. I thought the location was great. It's located in the downtown core, which is the heart of the city. Unfortunately, the downtown core hadn't had any investment for a couple of decades, and we thought this could be a place where we could really make an impact. As a group of architects, landscape architects, and urbanists, we really looked beyond the building itself and how could we improve that? We added trees. We added other amenities such as bike racks and benches. We also looked at the promenade itself, which was a street with very few shops. And we added a mural on the ground. We added string lights. We added more shade trees, more pedestrian amenities. It transformed from being majority empty to majority full. And it's just been great to create this authentic community in the heart of the city.
It is not a traditional office. And that's what we were looking for. When we were in the tower, we looked down on the city. So much of our work is about community. So we located ourselves in this space on the ground floor at street level to really make that connection more real for us.
And this is such a dramatic open space.
Yeah, it is. We walk through these big doors. We want to make it warm and inviting and use Akoya wood from Access. And then we walk through gallery spaces, so there's a lot of creativity and art. And then into this tall room, which really kind of supports creativity, a sense of awe. We want that for our visitors and our employees. It's totally transformative to our work culture. We went from cubicles and private offices to everyone having the same workspace. We worked with Pivot Interiors to design these custom workstations. And I think everyone together in one space, there's a lot more knowledge sharing and creativity between everyone from a senior partner to an intern. And I think made it a much more inclusive place to work.
Sinead, there are so many really great gathering spaces here.
It's amazing. We actually have this wonderful kitchen, but we also have a beautiful outdoor patio that was the former loading dock, and it's like this warm, inviting space that, you know, everybody can feel something different when they're in our studio. The kitchen sort of feels a little bit more like a restaurant in some ways. It is actually one of my favorite features, and I love bringing people over here because it's really unexpected to the rest of the office. We have a lot of fun pops of color, from orange tables and chairs to really beautiful Emser tile, and this wonderful countertop that just feels like a giant hospitality counter.
And there's some really interesting unconventional spaces. I think we passed a podcast room.
Yes, we have a podcast room called the Listening Room. We also have a pop-up retail, which is an apothecary. And then we have a large communal space called the Spit and Argue Club, where we do things like sound baths and community forums and even AIA events.
And I feel so connected to the promenade right here, which I understand is really important.
Yeah, and you probably see some light dancing around in our faces. That's actually a really new featured artwork by one of our creatives, which is called the Rainbow Machine.
Well, I'm sold.
The building itself is an adaptive reuse from retail to office. And in doing so, we reduced our embodied carbon by 65%. Our building is not only LEED Platinum, but it's also WELL Gold. We really are the first architectural office west of the Mississippi to achieve both those certifications. Some of the moves that we did make was we installed 33 skylights. Those are by Kingspan Light and Air. And they do a number of things. They provide natural light to reduce our lighting loads during the daytime. And at the same time, several of the skylights are operable to allow natural ventilation, reducing mechanical loads. Our concrete floors on the bottom, most of them remained exposed. And in doing so, we used West Coat to finish them up. And other moves that we've made were a mother's room, as well as biophilia throughout the space to bring nature into our environment. With the hybrid work environment, we realized that we can all work together on the ground floor, and that our mezzanine space opened up to be available for other opportunities. And we said to ourselves, well, why don't we make it available to creatives within the community to come and work in here, collaborate, cross-pollinate ideas. And within 2 months, we filled the entire space, all word of mouth. Perhaps a traditional office building environment is struggling, but creative spaces like these are in high demand.
It has been such an inspiration to watch this project develop. The goals that Michael and his team brought to transforming not only this building, but the greater downtown area have really motivated me to want to work here. And now I do.
We hope you've enjoyed our look at some of the finest architectural designs from around America. Join us next time for more groundbreaking architecture on America by Design. For more information on any of the projects featured in this series, go to bydesign.global.